Welcome to the Daily Vibecasting.
Ready to dive in.
Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we are undertaking a massive mission. We've collected the 11 most important posts, I think, that are currently driving the conversation on X.
And we are really zooming across disciplines here.
Absolutely. We've got major AI breakthroughs cracking, 3-decade-old math problems. Then we're jumping to high-stakes geopolitical satire, market volatility.
And we're finishing up with the latest drama from the box office and the F1 track.
Exactly. Our aim here is to give you a constructive and really balanced snapshot of today's digital pulse.
We're going from verifiable science, machine intelligence, all the way to the complete uncertainty that's shaking up the global financial markets.
By the end of this deep dive, you'll have the context you need to really get what's behind these headlines.
So where are we starting?
Let's start right in the deep end, because AI is not just writing better text prompts anymore. It's fundamentally reshaping the limits of mathematics. We're starting with post 1 from @DariaTR.
And this isn't just an incremental step. I mean, this is a truly historical moment for abstract mathematics.
Okay, so the post reads, major AI breakthrough in math. The Aristotle AI model from @Harmonic Math just proved Erdős Problem, #124, all by itself. This problem has been open for nearly 30 years. Congratulations.
What's so fascinating and maybe even a bit disruptive here is the how. The Aristotle AI, which comes from that Harmonic startup, it didn't use brute force or, some educated guess.
Right.
It leveraged a powerful piece of software. It's called the lean theorem prover.
A theorem prover. Okay, that sounds like a fancy calculator, but what does that system actually guarantee?
It guarantees verifiability. That's the key.
Mm-hmm.
It means the AI didn't just spit out an answer. It showed the logical step-by-step derivation to get there.
Wow.
It completed a variant of Erdős Problem, #124. That's a 1996 conjecture about representing large integers. And it did it in just 6 hours.
6 hours. Versus 3 decades of human mathematicians scratching their heads. So the specific variant it solved differs a little bit from the original, right? It allows for unit digits of 1.
It does, but the implication of verifiable AI reasoning is just huge. And you have to ask, why is a company like Harmonic so obsessed with this verification step?
I'm guessing it has to do with the money.
Well, yeah. Harmonic is backed by massive capital. We're talking $120 million from Robinhood co-founder Vlad Tenev, among others. Their whole mission is to prevent those AI hallucinations that plague the big language models.
So the strategy is simple.
Tenev's strategy is very simple. If the proof is formally verified, the result is certain. And that certainty is apparently worth $120 million in foundational science.
That sets a pretty high standard. Okay, moving from mathematical certainty to automated retail certainty. Let's hit the automation front with post 8 from @Internet80F. They linked to a video and posted. The 7-Eleven runs with no staff at all, just 140 plus cameras, LiDAR sensors, and full all tracking.
This is that viral footage, isn't it? The fully automated 7-Eleven in Taiwan.
That's the one. And the conversation around it immediately focused on, the human element that's being replaced.
Right, the surreal humor of automation getting rid of that messy, chaotic Slurpee mixing ritual.
They called it Slurpee suicide in the comments, which I think kind of encapsulates the dark humor perfectly. But the tech behind it is really serious. We're talking about a system with over 140 cameras and LiDAR sensors.
That amount of sensory input lets 7-Eleven create this precise, real-time virtual replica of the store.
So it's a digital twin.
Essentially, yeah. And this patented tech handles everything from inventory to frictionless payments, making the staff completely redundant. It's a glimpse into a future where convenience is all about technological immediacy.
Speaking of immediate, let's talk speed. Post 5 gives us a peek at the supersonic future from @Skoll, who is the CEO of Boom Supersonic.
What did he post?
He simply posted, just going to leave this here, and then there's an implied link to an AI image.
Ah, I saw this one. That image was just brilliant marketing. It's an AI-generated picture showing a Southwest Airlines livery, their colors, right on Boom's Overture supersonic jet.
Such a cheeky suggestion that supersonic travel might soon be for everyone, not just luxury carriers.
Exactly. But the technical goal of Overture is the real story here. They're aiming for Mach 1.7.
And to put that in perspective for you, that speed cuts the New York to London flight from about 7 hours down to just 3.5.
Incredible. And while certification is still targeted for 2029, what Blake Skoll is showing is that the conversation has shifted. It's not can we fly supersonic, it's how do we scale it profitably.
Right, and sustainably. I think Overture is designed to run on sustainable aviation fuel.
Which is key. Okay, to wrap up our tech stack, Post 6 gives us a kind of reality check on connectivity. At Starlink posted, Starlink is designed to provide reliable connectivity in harsh weather seizures.
And they didn't just say it, they backed it up by quoting a user's speed test.
And the numbers were, what, almost 300 megabits down?
297 megabits per second download and 24 up. And this was achieved during rain and heavy clouds.
Honestly, that's just a shocking level of performance.
Yeah.
We know from studies like that 2025 IE report, that rain usually degrades Starlink's performance by like 37 to 52%.
So to hold nearly 300 down through bad weather is a major testament to their tech.
For sure. But, the replies tell another story. Users are now focusing on the next challenges. There's this persistent concern about the upload limits.
And a growing demand for quantum secure encryption to protect all that data.
Exactly. And that shift from the certainty of AI proofs to the uncertainty of human systems is a perfect bridge to our next segment.
Let's do it. We're moving into global markets, governance, and volatility.
And we start with Post 3, which is pure viral geopolitical satire from @shitpostgate. It's just a link to a meme, but it generated so much discussion.
And this meme, it's layered with all this complex political symbolism, but it's delivered with such simple, really impactful imagery.
Totally. This is a blue dragon.
Which is China, yeah.
Representing China. And it's just stumbling, tripping right over this tiny little rock.
Taiwan.
Which is Taiwan. And then the satire gets even sharper because the dragon is kicked by this Bigfoot symbolizing U.S. intervention.
And then it turns and roars at a rising sun. Japan. It's such a rapid-fire commentary on the tensions in the Pacific.
It's also immediately relevant, isn't it? Because this meme just blew up during the late November 2025 escalations.
Exactly. This was right when the Japanese prime minister suggested military involvement, which drew these immediate, very specific threats from China of a crushing defeat.
And I noticed the yellow background, too. It mimics the old Qing Dynasty flag, which just adds another layer of, historical irony to the whole thing.
It shows how fast high-stakes rhetoric gets distilled into public commentary and memes. Now, if you want high stakes, let's look at raw market volatility. Post 7 from @WatcherGuru is just brutal.
What's the post?
Just in. $200 million worth of crypto longs liquidated in the past 60 minutes.
200 million.
Yeah.
Evaporated in 1 hour. That's a massive shockwave. And we should probably be clear about what liquidated longs means for you listening.
Yeah, good point.
It's when traders who are betting on a price going up, that's a long position, they're using high leverage. And a sudden drop forces the exchange to just sell their assets to cover the losses.
And what was the trigger for this cascade?
Bitcoin's sharp dive.
Yeah.
It pulled back from recent highs of around $126,000 down into the low $82,000 range.
Ouch.
Yeah, and that kind of rapid move just catches leverage traders completely off guard. It forces the mass liquidation we saw.
And the timing is key, too, because this happened right as the Federal Reserve announced it was ending quantitative tightening on December 1st.
Exactly. Ending QT means the Fed stops reducing its bond holdings. And while the long-term goal is to normalize liquidity, the immediate market reaction is just uncertainty. And that fuels the fear.
And you see it in the replies. It's the typical crypto playbook, a mix of dark humor and then these really optimistic calls to buy the dip.
Always. Okay, to close out this segment, let's look at that fascinating and often controversial intersection of tech, wealth, and government. Post 11 from @PMarca, that's Marc Andreessen, got a lot of traction.
What did he write?
He wrote, David Sachs, @David Sachs, is a throwback to the era of American greatness, in which the most capable private sector citizens selflessly volunteered for government service in moments of peril for $1 a day. He is a credit to our nation, and we need more like him, not fewer.
Okay, so he's praising Sachs's new unpaid role as the AI and crypto czar, and he's comparing him to the WWII-era dollar-a-year men.
Right, who famously donated their private sector expertise. But this post is a direct response to some serious media scrutiny, right? Reports in the New York Times, TechCrunch, all raising ethics questions.
Which raises a really important question for you, the listener. When billionaires who have deep personal investments in an industry like Sachs does in AI and crypto then take on policy roles in those exact same sectors, where's the line?
Where does public service end and private benefit begin?
Exactly. Sachs's venture investments could potentially benefit hugely from the policy frameworks he's helping to craft. The audience reaction was totally polarized.
You've got one side championing the skin in the game idea, arguing that only people who are deep in it can regulate it properly.
while the other side is fiercely questioning the motives of a billionaire with industry ties working for free, suggesting the policy influence is the real payment.
It's a fundamental tension in modern governance, especially when tech moves so much faster than regulation.
A debate that is not going to resolve itself anytime soon. All right, let's pivot and look at the lighter, though still high stakes, world of global culture and sports.
Sounds good. We can start with the just eye-watering numbers coming out of Hollywood. This is Post 4 from @CultureCrave.
Okay, lay it on me.
Zootopia 2 opens with $556 million at the global box office, biggest opening ever for an animated film, fourth biggest opening of all time.
$556 million globally. On opening weekend, that is a staggering number. It completely sets a new high watermark for animation.
It just crushes the previous record, doesn't it? Set by Inside Out 2 last year, which opened at, $295 million?
Not even close. And the context is what's really jaw-dropping. The fact that Zootopia 2 is fourth among all-time openings, trailing only massive superhero movies like Avengers, Endgame.
It just underscores the global power of Disney's sequel strategy, especially when they capitalize on that lucrative Thanksgiving market.
Sequels are dominating for sure. Established, family-friendly IPs are just the safest bet for these mega returns. Okay, for a shift in scale, let's talk driving challenges. Post 2 from @TheLawrence is extremely relatable.
The author Alibi posted, "Had my first driving lesson on UK road. Almost in all my years of experience, you'd be like, I go fail this test, T."
That is the sound of an international driver meeting the brutally unforgiving UK driving test.
Absolutely. The author is humorously contrasting their prior driving experience, which was probably a lot more, let's say, aggressive or informal,
with the incredibly strict procedural rules of UK roads. And that contrast is why the pass rate in the UK is notoriously low, right? It's around 48%.
Yeah, and the replies were full of advice, mostly telling the author they have to unlearn all their old habits and just stick to the technical MSM checklist: mirrors, signal, maneuver. The examiners want procedure, not practicality.
It's great cultural humor. Okay, from driving rules to football rules, Post 9 from @NFL is pure viral satire.
What's the post?
Heartbreaking. Draymond Jones says he cannot afford Christmas presents for his kids after being fined $14K for this violent gesture after a sack. Now, my kids aren't going to have Christmas gifts this year. Draymond Jones is only making $8.5 million this season.
Oh, this is a perfect piece of social commentary. The fine was $14,055 for a celebratory gesture, just his hand signaling it's over.
And the Ravens DE, Draymond Jones, knows exactly what he's doing. He's playing up the sudden, feigned financial distress despite his $8.5 million salary.
The humor lands because it taps into that bigger debate about the equity of league fines for nonviolent celebrations.
Right, and you saw both reactions. People loved the satire, and others were just sarcastic about a millionaire feigning poverty to critique a rule.
Finally, let's wrap with some high-speed drama from Formula One. Post 10 from @F1 covered a pivotal moment in the 2025 Qatar Grand Prix.
Let me guess, a pit stop.
Of course. LAP 2457 Piastri pits from the lead, and he comes back out on track in P5 CAG F1 car tag Qatar GP.
Ah, that sequence. The pole sitter, Oscar Piastri, dropping from P1 all the way to P5 in one disastrous pit stop. That's what makes F1 so compelling.
And the context reveals the damage. A slow 3.1 second stop. His teammate, Lando Norris, had a blistering 2.2-second stop.
So that 0.9 of a second cost him 4 places. And this was during a mandatory 2-stop race, so track position was everything.
Every tenth of a second in the box was magnified. And the ripple effect on the championship is the real story. That slow stop just generated immediate fan frustration with McLaren's execution.
And it amplified the inter-team tension, right? Because Norris gained valuable ground on Verstappen in the title fight. Pit walls can decide championships.
They absolutely can. So what does this whirlwind deep dive tell us today?
We've covered everything. From an AI cracking a 30-year-old math problem in 6 hours to $200 million vanishing from the crypto market in 60 minutes.
All set against a backdrop of geopolitical tension and Hollywood sequel dominance.
So if we connect this back to where we started, we have the Aristotle AI delivering verifiable mathematical proof, and we have the automated 7-Eleven where proprietary sensors replace human workers.
This raises a pretty important question for you to mull over. How quickly is human expertise, whether it's in math, customer service, or high-stakes policy, being defined, formalized, and then ultimately replaced or, profoundly influenced by verifiable proprietary machine systems.
What does human expertise even mean when a machine can prove something in 6 hours that took us 30 years?
It's a powerful thought to chew on until our next discussion. That line between human and machine capability is accelerating daily.
Until then, stay informed.
We'll catch you next time for the deep dive.